Oh yes, Mzansi, welcome back to some healthy conversation. And let's be honest, looking good doesn't need to be that hard, especially when we look at the future. We've got everything from healthy weight loss, body contouring and the likes, and that's what today's conversation is about. So, of course, we had to bring in some big guns and some family at that. So we've got Laura Johnston, our CEO of Phytoceutics, along with Dr. Weyers, who is someone that's doing incredible work in reconstructive surgery, in liposuction worlds, and all the things that allow us to kind of contour our body in a unique way. I'm still learning about this, and that's why I'm so grateful that both of you are here, because I want to find out about this world. I see such a big trend since I got into the gym scene of people wanting to look shredded, to have fat reduced in certain areas and specific areas of the body, just to maintain that perfect physique. Now, we look to the future, and you've got this interesting 360-degree contouring system, and I'm dying to know more about it, and I'm sure Mzansi is as well. So, Doc, what's going on in this world, man?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of developments. 360 contouring basically refers to improving on the contours of the body surgically then, by either liposuction or in cases where there might be excess skin, let's say in the tummy area, all around the trunk. The trunk is everything between your neck and your pelvis. So it's really to contour the upper back, the waist, snatched waist, love handles. This is more probably a female shape. And in the front part then, because it's a cylinder, you don't want to maybe have a flat tummy, but then there's a muffin top still at the back. Yeah, for a female post-pregnancies, the stretched skin, stretch marks, stretching of the muscles. So it's really to bring all of that back into the, how can I say, pre-pregnancy, more youthful contours.
But also beyond pregnancy, I mean, I see Jen speaking about us all the time. I'm gymming, I'm dieting, I'm trying to do the work, but there's just a stubborn area that we struggle with. I know, like under the arm, behind the back, on the belly. So this is something that essentially is that final phase in getting rid of those extras that you don't want.
Sure, you get that too. I mean, it's like, if you social media out there, it's, it's taken things to a whole different level and striving for perfection. People would often think, it's just the people who might be overweight who are the ones wanting these contouring procedures. But no, men, and a big part of the male cosmetic surgery market is this high definition where we really go and enhance the six-pack contour. It's not like taking a block of butter and you carving out a six-pack, okay? There has to be some muscles underneath. Yeah. But it's, to bring it to that extra bit that's stubborn, that they just can't seem to share.
Wow, I feel like the world must love you in this day and age. You're answering so many prayers. But Laura, you're doing something in terms of the passion side of things, in terms of healthy weight loss, right? What does this kind of actually look like when we determine healthy weight loss?
Yeah, so I guess the overlap between, what we're talking about is really that if you're going for this contouring, you have to be relatively close to your goal weight. So between 10 and 15, even 5 kilograms, if I'm not mistaken.
So you still have to do
the work. Okay. And this is where healthy diet and lifestyle comes in. And this is, healthy weight loss, which is more or less 2 kilos a month or half a kilo a week. Healthy diet, exercise. You can't outrun a bad diet. So, I say exercise for health, diet for weight loss.
You mentioned something specific before you carry on about a rate of weight loss per week. Is there a sort of unhealthy amount of weight loss? Like, can I lose too much weight?
Well, it's all relative, how much have you got to lose as well. So a slim person will lose less weight, less rapidly than maybe a more overweight person. Yeah. But in general, a dietitian will say a healthy weight loss that's sustainable, and it's not just this, starvation that's going to come back on is half a kilo a week. But, there's also something key to weight loss is your blood sugar management. So if your blood sugar is all over the place, you're going to have cravings, you're going to be hangry, you're going to have energy spikes and dips, you're going to store fat. So there are natural, compounds like berberine, for example, which is known in the social media world as nature's Ozempic. And this can help manage your blood sugar levels, which will help you lose weight and prevent that storage of unwanted fat.
Okay, well, this is starting to make sense. And I would imagine that it's something that we would almost need to incorporate post a dramatic surgery or post something like liposuction, right, Doc? Because I believe that there's an interesting world when we talk about liposuction, when we talk about what should people know about it before actually even doing it. What are some of the things we should be looking out for before attempting to go through this process?
Yeah, I think it's important to know, what the implications are of the surgery and definitely that you want to maintain your investment. I mean, it might look on some TV shows like, before and after, and it looks like a person's living their best life next as they wheeled out of surgery. But it isn't. There is a recovery phase to it. And then, you want to maintain that weight. So like Laura said, within 5 kilograms, if you had to lose more than 5 kilograms again after surgery, say, then there might again be some redundancy and some excess skin that can develop.
What would be some of the sort of effects post-surgery? Obviously, in pain now, we'd imagine there's like some mood changes as well. Or is there anything that one can do to kind of combat this or to help with that sort of, that inevitable like pain and mood change?
Yeah, and this is something Deon and I spoke about. There's this expectation when you come out of surgery that you're going to look perfect straight away.
Glow and
But, there's bruising, there's swelling, there's like a bit of trauma then at the pain and, like, oh, this isn't actually what I expected. It's going to take 6 weeks to get that end result. So, this can take its toll on your mood, and there are natural supplements like saffron in a product we have called Felix that can help manage these mood swings. And in fact, it can be very beneficial for depression and for stress and anxiety. So that's something that you could focus on. And then, when you come out of surgery, you will be given a host of anti-inflammatories, painkillers.
Yeah.
But, these are short-lived and not something that you take long-term. So once you're off these anti-inflammatories, maybe you want to look at natural anti-inflammatories like curcumin, or perhaps these pain meds have made you constipated. So probiotics, prebiotics like Ceregut or Betagut can then be beneficial. But, I think it's important just to manage these expectations and exactly what Deon said, you're not going straight from surgery to the beach.
What is the future of this space actually looking like? Doc, maybe I can talk to you about this in terms of like where to next, because every time I have this conversation, there's new techniques, there's new options in terms of weight loss and management. Where do you see the future of this field going?
Yeah, sometimes, to be honest, it can be a bit daunting and scary because, we're moving from restoration, which means, changes, let's say, after pregnancy or some weight fluctuation that you just bring back to how it was. But there's now a sense and a movement towards enhancement. In other words, starting with something which hasn't been affected so much and taking it to even like for once was the ribs that are now being removed in some countries to even have a more snatched waist.
Oh, is that what's happening?
Hopefully not in South Africa just yet. But there are more courses being offered globally, as to how to achieve that. And I think that, like I said, is maybe interfering on levels that we maybe shouldn't be interfering with. But I think skin tightening and the technology to have less invasive, less scars, that's the more exciting part, I think, that I'm interested in, to basically achieve what you could with, let's say, a tummy tuck, if that's necessary, but without having that scar. It's not always possible, but the technology is gradually getting there.
Well, look, I'm pretty sure you are changing lives, and both of you are doing that, both from externally and internally. And I think there's so much that goes into the system, that goes into making us who we are. And we focus so much on that aesthetic, and I think it's crazy to think that there's a world forever changing and there's so many options, but I'm grateful that we can do some positive maintenance, that we don't have to always do something as drastic that we think, but we can really find information. And I think that's what's key, Zanzi, is that we inform ourselves before making these drastic decisions, that we empower ourselves with knowledge. And if you want to do that, then I'd suggest heading over to phytoceutics.com, because they literally have a plethora of information, a plethora of tools that can assist you to hopefully thrive and live out your best life.
Optimize your gut health with Phytoceutics range of pre, pro, and postbiotics. Use code EXPRESSO for 15% off at phytoceutics.com.